recording now. Great. So tell me, tell me, Nikki, how did you start out?
Oh, wow. How did I start out? Well, my mom and dad got together and then they had four kids before me. No. Um, you mean, I assume you mean started out as a singer.
Yes.
Well, little brown girl from Michigan, grew up in, singing in the church and in the house. My father was a jazz musician, Gene Harris, and he was a pianist. And all my sisters, except for one, sang. Actually, my sister Beth has a band even now in Michigan. And I was the youngest, and I really was the comic in the whole thing. And I went to school to be a history teacher. I was not trying to be a professional musician. But when I went to school in Long Beach, there were a lot of musicians who knew my dad. And when I got there, they had a big party for me, like welcome to California, blah, 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 blah. And all these musicians, we just sat around the piano and we ended up, singing a lot and playing. They were playing music and I knew a lot of songs. So I started getting calls, just like, can you, we got a singer sick. Can you come and fill in here? And I was still going to school. And that turned into getting called to do Disney stuff and, working for Disneyland and working for Knott's Berry Farm and then for all these different shows and then going to Vegas and then had a steady gig with this group called the Righteous Brothers. And I still, for me, in my mind, I wasn't a professional singer per se. I was they were jobs. They were just jobs to keep me be able to be in school, because my mom was still in Michigan and my dad was out on the road doing his thing, and I needed to make money.
Mm.
And really, that's just how it. And before, by my third year in college, it ended up being that I was getting called for so much that finally, even professors were like, "This is what you do." So I was doing like concerts on the campus. Like every time musicians would come, David Sanborn, Michael Cimbello, Patrice Rushen, all these musicians would come on and do concerts on the campus. They would ask me, "Can you do background for them for their shows?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." Easy money. It was easy, and it was always also a credit. I got a credit for it, for
Oh, nice. You toward in terms of education, you got a
and so,
credit.
yeah, yeah, in
Wow.
terms of education. So bottom line is it just turned into a gig and then it turned into singing for jazz artists and Wilton Felder from the Jazz Crusaders and just people would just start calling. Then I started getting called for doing what was demos called demos, in the 80s. And before I knew it, I was riding back and forth to sorry, I'll turn my phone down. Riding back and forth to Los Angeles to do demos for people. And that just turned into doing, commercials and film and before I knew it, I had a career. So by the time, I was like in my third year of college, I started getting calls for big stuff and I was like, I think this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So
I think so too, and I'm glad you took it. I'm glad that was your path.
who
It sounds
knows? I
like.
mean, I'm going to tell you, I still have moments where I meet what I call real singers,
Mhm.
because that's it's like with any art form, you're just trying to do it and going, I hope they don't understand. I hope they don't figure out that I don't really know what the hell I'm doing.
Oh,
It's like,
that's
acting or, it's like, I put in the work. I mean, obviously now
yeah.
but I do have moments where I'm still, I mean, I never did the Berkeley School of Music and all the things that all these young singers I see do now. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that that's what people do to go be professional singers. I didn't know. I didn't even have that. So I didn't have any hidden agenda either.
You're very
I
pure.
didn't dream about being a big star. I didn't think
Yeah.
about any of that. That was not, I mean, the biggest thing I had for I would be a big star is I wanted to be the Black Carol Burnett. Like that would have been my like, ah. I, give me my own TV show. I want, Black Tracy Ullman or something where I can do tons of characters, you know. So that would have been my dream. And so
Wow. I wanted to ask about imposter syndrome. Like I remember
is
this
that what
one
it's called?
moment.
It's called imposter syndrome.
It's imposter syndrome. I
Yeah.
remember I'm a facts of life fan, like
Okay.
different strokes. I grew up in the 1980s. So there's one, she's actually played by Stacey Q, but she plays Cinnamon on in the show.
Okay.
These two episodes, and she says, it's one of my favorite moments. If you know, you're familiar with, um, when they,
I'm a
when
little
everybody
older.
finds, huh?
I'm a little older. I'm a little
Oh,
older. I
when
remember
everybody,
the facts of life. It wasn't really one that I'm back in like, the courtship of Eddie's father and,
oh, wow.
Julia. Those are my, the Dick Van Dyke show, the black and
Love the
white
Dick
one.
Van Dyke Show. I love the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Yeah. Lucy for sure. Every episode of Lucy. I think I
Yeah.
watched it when it was originally came out.
Oh no, but everybody finds out that Cinnamon um has this big worldwide tour coming up, and she never told anybody, and she was running away from home and so or running away from it. And I remember Tootie, who's been like begging anybody she knew, can I have a career? Can I have a
Exactly.
she says, you ran away from a national tour.
Oh my God. And trust me, even when national tours happened for me, like it still felt like they felt like just they were just jobs, just another job. It never felt like, okay, and this will lead to this. And I always like was almost taken aback when people would say stuff like, oh, this is going to be amazing for your career. Or you should do this because this will, be, and I was like, huh? Like, I just don't, I didn't know how to view people in that way of like, okay, this parlays to this and this parlays to that. It just was not my concept of living that way. I just want to do good work. I just want to do good work.
In some sense, it's amazing. So many people, I'm sure, so many people think that way, like this person will lead to that person. But yet you came in with pure intent. You just wanted to do what you love doing.
Well, if they call. I mean, I was always like, ended up meeting all these singers who, like, I was like, how did they get all the calls for like this, for the session work? And how did they get all the calls for the tours? They knew all the stuff. They always knew what was, and I just wasn't in that scene. It's just not what I did. And I just didn't operate that way. And even in my life, I mean, I live in Augusta, Georgia, clearly. I mean, when people ask me, why'd you move to Georgia? I'm like, because I like the country and I wanted, a sweet life for my daughter. We live in front of a lake and I have
Yeah.
lots of dogs. And that's, I just wanted a simpler life that way. And freeways was never what I, dreamed of living near. And that's what LA was for me. It was like a lot of driving. So, I mean, I still have my home there, but trust me, when I go back, I realize, oh, so that's that chapter. Okay, and this is this chapter. And so I love to sing. I mean, I go back to, I'm a little brown girl from the church. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. Those are the first songs I learned. So that's why I sing. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. I sing because that's how my people taught me. You sing because you're happy. You sing because you're free. And
Yeah.
you sing because you can.
Yes. You just, I think that when we're on, when yeah. I think we can speak well when we don't trip over our tongue.
No, honey,
Um,
don't, it's okay. It's okay.
when,
Everybody's tripping nowadays, so don't worry about it.
yeah,
And with
yeah.
that, do not mince your words or try to, censor your just say what you
Mm.
need. Say what you need to say. Say what
Sing,
you
you can
need to
sing
say.
whenever you feel like answering with a song. Just answer with a song. I
Well,
shut
look,
up.
that's the good part about growing up in a musical family or growing up in a family that allowed that. I
Mm.
mean, when the TV broke, all of a sudden we were the Von Trapp family. When the record player wasn't working, you put a group together and you did a show in the backyard or, so and when you got four girls and two boys and you're just like
Got
that's a
your
band waiting to happen.
potentially a singing group
A
right
band
there.
waiting. We live we live 45 minutes from Gary, Indiana. I grew up, with Jackson 5. It's like,
Exactly,
this is what you
exactly.
do. You sing.
Oh, wow. All right, I want to get to actually my first official question.
Okay.
Okay. You've worked with some of the greatest female icons in history, from Whitney Houston to Madonna. For someone performing a female gender illusion, what is the secret to capturing the essence of a powerful woman on stage without it becoming a caricature?
Wow. Well, first of all, it's all about who you're doing. I mean, if you're, you know, pretending or, trying to encompass Tina or you have to find the parts of them that really feel right for you. I think more than anything, what I've always noticed with, any female impersonator per se is stand up straight.
Oh,
First of all, just stand
posture.
up straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, posture. It's just to me the posture of a woman, especially a woman who's been living as a woman. I mean,
Mm.
some men have it down, but they've been living very effeminate in their way of standing. Um, and also know the song, whatever you're performing. I would say that to a singer who's singing live or to a singer who's just lip singing. It's like know what you're singing about, know what the song is, so you can pull from an honest place.
Right. Be sincere. Um, as a
Okay,
songwriter,
be sincere. That's good. I
be
like that.
sincere,
Be
genuine.
sincere. And
It comes.
here's the thing though. Remember, it's all at the end of the day, it's still all acting.
Mm,
So the thing is,
right.
with acting, you want to look like you're not acting.
Mm,
So even if you're not really being sincere, but if in your heart you're pulling from an honest place, then it will feel sincere. Because there's been times when I've sung and I know, you know, I mean, I wouldn't want anybody to know that,
no, of
but
course not.
you flew it in. You flew it in because you were tired or your voice. You just I'm gonna get through as much as I can get through on this one. I'm gonna sing the notes right, but am I doing 99% or am I doing 80%? Or is my body really at 65%? I don't know, but you still got to find that honest place in you
Mm.
so that it resonates to the audience, you know.
Are there techniques that you found that when you're like, you feel like, oh, I need to do this concert, but I'm not feeling as up to it, but you still have to perform? Are there like we were just talking, are there techniques you've developed?
Yeah, sleep.
Okay.
At this point, I mean, I all the things I probably never really, that I took for granted when I was younger. Sleep is the utmost part important to me right now. It's like resting the body, not just the vocal cords, but resting the body itself. And I mean real good rest, restorative rest. And I would also say, you know, don't be afraid of a little caffeine.
It keeps you up, keeps you alert, at
I
least
mean,
for
just
those
a
few
little bit,
minutes. I
a
mean,
little bit of caffeine,
yeah.
as opposed to other things, you know. I know vocal teachers who ask their students, drink a little Coca-Cola. It gets the sugar, it hits all the bells and the whistles. The carbonation, really can clean gook out.
Oh,
And the
the throat.
sugar gives you a
Yes.
little hit kick, and the caffeine gives you a little kick. But it also works on the salivary glands.
Mhm.
Um, so and that means you're staying coated while you're singing.
Yeah,
'Cause
it
the
it probably
worst is to be singing and get dry throat or get
yes.
cotton mouth.
Yes.
That's the worst to try to sing through.
No, no, you need your voice to be clear and able to get
Or
that
lubricate.
oxygen.
Hate to
Yeah,
say it,
lubricate,
lubricate it.
lubricate,
Hello, hello.
lubricate, whatever meaning that means. Just stay alert on
Lubrication
stage.
always works.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a little lubrication, honey.
As a songwriter, I'm trying to create anthems. You've been
Okay.
part of songs that became life changing anthems. What is the secret ingredient in a lyric that makes a song transcend and become part of someone's identity? Or can you give
Oh,
some
wow.
advice on like
I always
songwriting?
say keep it simple.
Okay.
Keep it simple. If it's going to be an anthem, it's got to me, it's like repeat it, make it, I mean, we will rock you works because that's all you need to say.
Yeah.
We will, it's keep it simple. If you want an anthem like that.
Hmm.
Um, but I say
Or just music in general.
in
They're not
in
necessarily anthems,
writing,
but yeah.
yeah, in writing, once again, I don't know how to operate that. I don't know how to have that, okay, I gotta write this kind of song. I gotta write this kind of song. Um, just write what feels natural and what feels honest to you. Because I feel like the minute you start trying to push something into a hole, it's gonna feel that way in the song. It's gonna feel forced to me.
Like when you're trying to write like a commissioned song or write, we want this type of song, please write it for us or
I
something
mean, you
like.
can write. I mean, obviously, if somebody says I want a reggae song, you know what kind of groove you want to, what kind of groove you want to start in.
Mm,
But to say it's got to move me here and it's got to move me here, you can do that. It just takes time. And
mm.
I think you need to be with really, really good musicians and people who and great lyricists. That's why I love,
Oh,
the classics. It's like see how people use melodies and change words around and you know, Johnny Mercer and Cole Porter are no slouches, and same with, Sondheim. It's just like learn from the greats. Sing the greats. Sing the greats first so you can see, oh, this is what that means, you know, careful the things you do. Children will listen. Just that much of that song and you got a hit. You know,
okay.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
for new artists, how important is it to find the creative soulmate if you're partnering with somebody, um, that partner who can challenge you while keeping you grounded?
Hmm.
Or can you
I
speak
think you
on?
know. I think I go back to what my father taught me. I mean, with any partner,
Mm,
it's like at the end of the day, music, if you're partnering up in dance, it's just lovemaking. And what kind of partner do you want to be with? Do you want to be with one that's just looking at themselves or that's welcoming you into the room with your ideas? And more than anything, that's willing to be naked with you and
mm,
that you feel safe to be naked with. So that's always going to be a good working relationship. I mean, that's part of what works with me and Donna singing is like we have been, as we say in our show, we have been through it. We paint all the colors.
mm,
So, it's like, she wants to wring my neck. I want to wring her neck sometime, but
mm,
we also have a genuine, amazing love for each other too. And we know what it's like to be super vulnerable with each other,
mm,
and sometimes not be as graceful as we want to be, or say the wrong thing, or all that, or what, not even the wrong thing, just that, it's just not the kindest thing. And then so we have to, you
mm,
know, we learn forgiveness with each other. We learned all those big
mm,
lessons. You know, we learned courage with each other, dancing out on a treadmill in the rain in heels and in slippery leather dresses will make you very vulnerable. And
mm,
to the person who you're next to, like if you fall, I got you. If you got me, I got you. You know, um, and literally being naked with someone, literally naked over 18 years together, you know, not just, mentally, but physically naked. It gives you a canvas to work on that all all things are allowed, even fucking up, even, and I remember many times
mm,
recording where I'd sing something, it was like, you know, Pat Leonard would go, oh, well, I'm not really sure about that, or I'd see Madonna and she'd be like, I don't think that's it. And it was a good line. It didn't fit into that particular song, and it's okay. And because it was a safe space, you know, that's what you want. You want to go, okay, let's try this. Okay, let's try this. You know,
mm.
that's good lovemaking.
Are there instances that it sounds like an interesting, like unique relationship, um, partnering relationship? Are there instances? Are there kinds of things that pop up in that kind of relationship, um, like with Donna, for example, or Madonna or Pat? Um,
I mean, there's stuff that pops up. I'd say not just in that particular setting. There was times, during Whitney stuff. There's that, because she sang really, really, really strong.
mm,
And her parts were like and that was back in the day. You weren't flying. You didn't, what they call it, the computer wasn't,
oh,
you had to sing this over and over and over again. So And just knowing that, okay, as we layer these vocals, you've got to really trust that you've taken the time, once again, getting the rest
Mhm.
and keeping your ears open enough to go, there's another way, maybe I could approach it this way that I don't kill my voice just on this one song.
It sounds like
Um,
some give and take where you're looking, you
but isn't that
in
isn't
this
that
kind of
isn't
relationship.
that with any good relationship?
Yeah, yeah.
Give and take. Oh,
Some vulnerability, some trust.
mhm.
Um,
Sounds like
and
love making to me, baby.
yeah, yeah, it does. It
Yeah, a lot of
does.
vulnerable trust.
In
Yeah.
music, there's very little, I guess, that couldn't be related to lovemaking.
Well,
Somebody,
I'd say the music that I want to hear. I mean, I don't, you know, I'd say the stuff that's long lasting or has span the length of time and that we still are drawn back to. It's something that vibrationally it hits us, you know, not just emotion, but on a cellular level that it's a frequency that we all can relate to on some level, whether you like the song or not. I mean, there's songs that I hear, I get it. I get why people might want to hear that, even if it's not my cup of tea, I go, I get that because it vibrates with a certain frequency.
right, right. You've seen the pop queen machine from the inside. What is one piece of backstage grit or discipline you learned during the Truth or Dare era, going back to Madonna,
Oh,
that you think every aspiring solo artist needs to hear today
take care of yourself.
for the long haul over
The thing that I would say, yeah, the thing that I would say to anyone who's doing any of this is really take care of yourself because, you know, tours, albums, songs, they are just brief moments in your life. And you have to decide what you're in here for. Are you here for the long haul? Are you here for just that one, you know, brief moment? Um, and neither one's wrong. It's just you have to decide, you have to redefine for yourself what you want, you know. Um, I would say that to young people. I would say uh especially because they have so many other options now too. So many people don't have you can go on online and you could be a superstar,
Oh,
you know, with fans you've never seen just because they're downloading your music. You just don't know them, you know. So the advice I look, I want some of them young fans to give me some advice.
yeah, sure.
Like
You've given it
how to
all.
do this freaking Zoom stuff because I'm like, how long did we take to get that going? Hello.
Yeah, right.
You know, my advice to them is just, try your best to be honest with yourself. You
Mhm.
know, you decide who you want to be. Um, and I remember one of the best lessons Madonna said to me was, create your world, you know, create your world that you want to be in. And make your own party, especially when I was healing or when I was, training or whatever. Just like, get your headspace, and another lesson she said to see it before it happens. Envision it before you even do it. Like vision what that show's going to look like. Envision how you want it to look.
That sounds like a phrase. I think it's for Leonardo da Vinci. He envisioned the sculpture, and he all he had to do was just remove the excess from from the
Okay.
block. Yeah,
From the block. Yeah, the stone was there. He just had to chip away because he saw what was in there already. Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Quite possibly. Lovely analogy. I like that. I like that. Yeah, I mean, I just think there's so many things that they have so many more options nowadays. I mean, my sweet spot with Madonna was, thank God, I always say, is because we didn't have the phones. We didn't have, we weren't sitting around on phones all day and scrolling or posting or any of that. We were really, really present with each other. And I would say because of this social experiment that we've done on the world,
Mhm.
thank you, whatever, Mark Zuckerberg, whatever, um, that the challenge is for people to learn how to shut it down and be more connected with themselves too,
Mm.
as opposed to they think they're connecting with people, or what's the word it's called? We're in a high tech, low touch world now.
Interesting
So
point.
it's
Like,
like learn how to touch what are you really feeling,
yeah,
as opposed to what you think other people think, or looking for likes or any of that kind of stuff. And be present with yourself. Be present with what you're really feeling.
yeah. It's. I think we going to that technology point. I think people look outward so much that they don't look inward, and they don't have a firm grasp of who they are.
Mhm. Well, once again, you asked me who I am and how I got started. I told you I'm a little brown girl from, from the church. So
And
that's
you
really
haven't forgotten.
no, I mean, I know that those foundational things they're in me.
Mm.
It's not all of the colors I paint with, but that foundation is definitely that's what I lean on. When the world looks like it looks right now, I go there. I go to the mountaintop.
Oh,
You know, because we're in the valley right now.
oh
And
yeah.
I'm keeping my eye on the mountaintop, because I know that that you can get up there, you
Mm.
know.
We have about 2 minutes 46 seconds left, so I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think
Is that a good thing or a bad thing for you? I don't
well, I can set up
know. Two
another.
minutes and 46 seconds, it seems like
Yeah.
you know, that's all that a lifespan really is in the big scheme of things, isn't it?
Uh, I don't know if I didn't want to launch you into another thing that would take longer to
No,
explain,
it's
but
all good.
oh, oh,
I'm really wonderful.
oh,
And you are too.
anything, thank you, thank you. Anything further, any bit of advice that you wish you had as a youngster, if you could like communicate with your, it sounds cliche, but question, but
No, with your younger self.
yeah.
Slow down, be present, really, really take it all in, and know that all of it's just waves, and that it's going to ebb and flow and surf while you're there on the wave. But know that sometimes the sea is going to be calm, and that's okay too. And that everything does not have to be a turbulent storm, to make you feel like things are going on. It's like just it's okay. It's okay to keep it very chill. And sometimes that's when you can be quiet enough to hear that next song or to see that next vision and to really take it in if you're quiet enough. But
Good
so many
point.
of us, the attention span's so short now, for people to really slow down. That would be my advice more than anything is just slow down.
Yeah, I remember one of my favorite writers, Harlan Ellison. He was in a taxi cab, and the driver was so anxious about getting him there to an appointment on time, and he said, "No, look, we're here. There's nothing more that can be done. Just it'll happen when it happens, I
Yeah.
guess."
I have to say that's the one thing, even though I do live in the country now, that is the one thing that you have to learn when you're living in a city, or when just like you're in traffic, nothing you can do about it. You can be anxious all day if you want, or you just can just take it down a notch. Just go, we get there when we get there.
Yeah, I'm gonna end the recording part.